The land of Israel, with its ancient roots and deep connection to the Jewish people, has been at the heart of historical and modern conflict. Today, we delve into UN Resolution 1701, a resolution that, while calling for peace, exemplifies the ongoing bias against Israel and the political manipulation of history. UN Resolution 1701 was adopted in August 2006 to address the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah following the 34-day war. Its goal was simple: to call for the cessation of hostilities, ensure the withdrawal of Israeli forces from southern Lebanon, and establish the deployment of the Lebanese army alongside UN peacekeepers. But here's the problem. While it sounds like a neutral resolution, the pressure was almost entirely placed on Israel, rather than on Hezbollah, a recognized terrorist organization. Israel, defending itself against Hezbollah's attacks, was called on to withdraw from southern Lebanon. But let's be clear, Hezbollah initiated the violence, violated international law, and used civilians as human shields. Despite this, the UN resolution barely pressured Hezbollah to disarm or stop its aggression. Instead, it placed much of the burden on Israel, the one defending citizens on both sides, the Lebanese and the Israelis. Where is the accountability for Hezbollah? Why does the UN continue to focus its criticisms disproportionately on Israel when it's simply defending itself against terrorism? Resolution 1701 also called on the Lebanese government to extend its sovereignty over its own territory, ensure there were no weapons outside government control, and prevent the rearmament of Hezbollah. Yet, 18 years later, Hezbollah is stronger than ever, fully armed, and still entrenched in southern Lebanon. Where is the condemnation of Lebanon for failing to comply with this resolution? Instead, the international community continues to turn a blind eye to Hezbollah's violations, while disproportionately blaming Israel for defending itself. This is not an isolated case. The UN has a long history of disproportionate focus on Israel. Despite Israel being the only democracy in the Middle East, it is frequently the target of more resolutions than any other country, even regimes with horrendous human rights records. Why? The UN continues to ignore historical truths, that Israel is the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people. Instead, it embraces modern political narratives that frame Israel as the aggressor, even when faced with terrorist groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. And that brings us to a larger issue: the political manipulation of the Palestinian national identity. It's a fact. There was no distinct Palestinian identity before the 20th century. It emerged in response to Zionism and the establishment of Israel in 1948, used as a political tool to oppose Israel's very existence. Before the modern era, the people living in the region identified as part of the broader Arab world. There was no Palestinian nation in the sense we understand today. And yet, this narrative has been pushed forward in the international arena to undermine Israel's legitimate claims to its ancestral land. The bias doesn't stop with Hezbollah. The UN's disproportionate focus on Israel extends far beyond Resolution 1701. Time and again, Israel is singled out and condemned, while the real aggressors, like Hezbollah, Hamas, and other terrorist organizations, are given a free pass. This pattern reveals a disturbing truth. The UN is more focused on political expediency and appeasing anti-Israel factions than on upholding historical facts and justice. It's time to set the record straight. Israel's right to the land is based on thousands of years of history, religious connection, and legal foundations. The so-called Palestinian national identity and the manipulation of international law have been used as tools to delegitimize Israel's existence. The truth is clear. The land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people, and no modern political resolution can erase that historical fact. It's time for the world to recognize this truth and stop placing disproportionate blame on Israel, the only democracy in the Middle East, for defending itself against terrorism. If you believe in Israel's right to exist and the truth behind its historical connection to the land, share this video and help spread the message.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Dejobnik signing off.